of give your opening statements on today's loss against Tulsa, 65-55. Kind of what was your message to the team after the game?
Well, I'll start by saying I was really proud of our team's effort. Every team in this league is just so tough and it's so competitive. And, Tulsa is where they are for a reason. They're a very skilled team. They play at a pace that, not many teams can play at consistently, and they got out to a really good start, which they do a lot. And it took us a little bit to settle in. And, I'm proud of our kids just for their fight. We continued to fight. We continued to battle to get back in the game. We had some opportunities up until the fourth quarter, to really kind of take control of this game, and we just weren't able to. And it's unfortunate. It's disappointing, but there's still a lot of season left, and we'll just continue to focus on us and focus on how we can improve, how we can make progress, because that's ultimately what it's all about. I mean, the rest of the stuff is just noise. It doesn't matter. But if we just play hard the way we did today, and we can tighten up a few things, we can still do a lot of really good things, and that's where our focus needs to be.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good.
The first half seemed like the tale of two halves. The game flow felt like you guys were down by double digits at some times. Can you talk about what led to the difference in making the game a 2-point game at the half, and what sort of adjustments you made after the first quarter?
Well, I think, I think it almost takes you a minute to get used to, Tulsa's pace. I mean, the number one key to this game is transition defense, and that's going to be every team that plays them. And the first quarter, we didn't do a good job. We did not do a good job. And so, in at the timeout, we just talked about trying to chip away and trying to settle in and just be better. Just try to be 1% better. That's part of the mantra in our program. We also struggled allowing a lot of offensive rebounds. So we're trying to get back. We don't get the stop, but we allow an offensive rebound. And so we come out in the second quarter, and I thought we did a better job, holding them in the half court. I do not believe we gave up an offensive rebound in that quarter, which also helped us to get out in transition and get some easy ones. And when we get out in transition, that's when we're, at our best offensively. So I think those are the adjustments they made between those quarters.
Thank you. For Smitty, she had a great game tonight.
For who, I'm sorry?
Smitty.
Mm-hmm.
She had a great game tonight. A lot of intensity and defensive pressure. And she ended up with 5 steals. Can you talk about her, why her shot wasn't able to fall tonight, and just
yeah. Well, I think Smitty plays her role really well. I mean, she's a leader for us. She's become a leader for us. She sets the tone for us on the defensive end, and she was absolutely fantastic defensively, getting deflections, lots of steals, and just setting that tone. Especially when you get down, you need somebody that can kind of help the team, have that grit to get back, and she does that for us consistently. Today offensively, it was an issue across the board, and we knew they were going to play a lot of zone. I'm actually shocked they played any man in the first half. And we knew they would sit in that zone. And you can't beat people when you go 3 for 23 from the 3. When we shoot 27% on our home court. And that had nothing to do with Tulsa. That has everything to do with Charlotte. And we have to be better. It's not Smitty. It's across the board. We have to be able to, when people are going to sit in a zone, we have to be able to move the ball better and find some easy shots and knock shots confidently when we can. And we are capable of doing that. We're more than capable of doing that. Unfortunately, we just couldn't do it today.
Hey, Coach. So Kiana had 12 total rebounds during the game, and I just wanted to just see your opinion on how nice it is to be able to have her just impacting that side of the court, especially when Tracy didn't have as many minutes tonight.
Yeah, Key has just been getting better and better every day, every week, and I've been really proud of her growth and her progress. For her, rebounding is one of her roles. It's something that we need her to do, and we need her to do well. And I thought she was, just fantastic, flying all over. I've said this, often about Key, that she is our defensive anchor. She's the one that makes us go defensively with her activity, her communication, and her rebounding ability. When she gets rebounds and we can get up and out and go, we're a lot better.
Thank you.
You were correct, by the way. 0 offensive rebounds in the second quarter. Just can you talk about coming into today's game? One of the storylines was Tulsa's 2 leading scorers, Poindexter and Crawford. They were 2 out of the top 4 leading scorers in the conference. And the nature of the game today was kind of there was the lid on the basket for both teams. But you did defensively hold Poindexter to 3 for 15 from the field. Can you talk about just what the game plan was coming into today? defending those two players.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, we wanted to try to limit those two as much as we can. We were successful in kind of making a hard day for number 2, but not so much for number 5. They're both really, really great players. I mean, when I watch them on film, they're as good as advertised. You're talking about both of them are good enough to be first-team players in this league from what I've seen so far. So it's a difficult task for sure, but I do think we did a great job on Poindexter. Again, I think we played well enough defensively to win this game. I really do. But they had some role players come in and really step up. Number 22, Cartwright, she played really well in their last game against Rice. She played well again tonight. You get number 11 off the bench, and she scores 10 points. So, obviously you want to try to limit their big guns, but you also can't let other people come in and make up for that scoring, and that's what they were able to do. But again, I will say that, the defensive end was not the issue in this game.
Offensively at halftime, we finished the game with 28 points in the paint, but we had 20 of those at the half, and 20 of the 29 points at halftime were in the paint. Was that really intentional, trying to attack in the basket offensively, or was it just more of a nature of, hey, our outside shot isn't falling, so let's drive to the basket?
No, we're at our best when we get the ball to the paint, and everybody knows that. I mean, you're past to the point, in the season where people don't know you. That's how it's scouted. And we did a good job getting to the paint in the first half. Some of that was stops we were able to get in transition. A lot of that was when they were in their man, and we were able to, call some stuff to be able to get us to the paint. And, they came out in the second half and they did not come out of the zone. And the nature of the zone that they play, they take the paint away. And they did a good job of that. And, again, we still had some paint opportunities, but we did not finish well or finish through contact well. And, if somebody's going to sit in a zone like that, we have to be able to knock down shots. And we don't have to make all of them, but we got to make more than 3, and we will.
I got 2 questions for you, Coach. It seemed like no one had a good or great shooting performance tonight. Do you believe it was Tulsa's defense that led to shooting 3 of 23 from the 3, or was it the weak layoff that you guys had this past week?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, the way that they scouted us was to play a lot more of their zone. You going into the game, they play 50% man, 50% zone, 47% zone. And, again, just knowing what our strengths are, we anticipated that they would play a lot of zone. And so we spent a lot of time the last 3 days in practice working on our zone offense. It unfortunately just did not pay off because I felt that we had open shots. It wasn't that we weren't getting open shots. We just weren't knocking them down. And at the end of the day, that's on us. And so like I said, we'll just keep working, and we'll look forward to the opportunity where that can happen again and we can make those shots.
Last question, Coach. You guys won the turnover battle, points in the paint, second chance points, and fast break points, but got outscored by Tulsa's bench tonight by 9 points. In a game where the shots aren't falling and the calls aren't going your way, how will you adjust your bench and starters going into the next game?
Well, every day for us, like, our rotation is dependent upon practice. And, I think our starters have done a really good job, separating themselves from the way that they practice from day one. Our rotation a lot of time is based on practice. For example, Tamia Davis, we would normally play against the zone, but she had food poisoning and didn't practice. So they're a really difficult team to just put a kid in and say, hey, guard this action, because it's really difficult. So that had a huge influence on this game. She couldn't get out there and defend. So, and that's something we couldn't control. So, we'll continue to manage our bench and our starters, as we see fit. But, certainly what they bring every day in practice is important. And they know that. Jewel Watkins got in today, played some, good minutes because she practiced better. And we'll continue to watch her and see how she practices and give opportunities. So, it's all about what you earn and what you're prepared for. And our players know that, and they'll continue to work.
Upcoming next 2 games are Tulane and Temple, 2 teams that we've already seen fairly recently. Temple, obviously, last Sunday. I was going to talk about the challenges or benefits of playing a team in such a short turnaround.
Yeah, well, we'll go down and play Tulane, and they're going to play us all zone again. And they did at home here, and we did a much better job, against their zone than we did tonight. So, we'll just continue to work and find ways to put our teams in the best position, and, we'll keep getting shots up and stay confident. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to stay confident. This league, things happen quickly. Things change quickly. Every game in this league is close. I tell our team that all the time. I'm like, have you guys seen the scores? Like, almost every game is within, it's a game of inches right now. And today the inches did not go our way. But our job is to try to just shorten those inches so that when we're, down at Tulane, we make a few more shots, or we get a few more stops. I mean, that's all it takes. So, the game of basketball has a brutal way of, waking you up, because it can go either way all the time. And that's what makes the game so great at the same time. So, we just got to keep working on getting better, and we will continue to do that.
Thank you, Coach. Charlotte returns to action Wednesday at Tulane and returns back to Halton next Sunday against Temple.
Thank you.